surface, and then we got it when you cut, just a little bit of a turn. So sort of a rounded V. Okay, like I said, I will clean all that out later. Kind of a nice little look here. Just I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna make sure that oops. Now I'm gonna have to widen it again because I am now going to get into the chimney here. I'm going to get kind of into the chimney here. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the front part, and I'm going to do one side. I don't have to show you all four sides. And darn it, I forgot my ruler because I think I do have a ruler. There's a rule to this. First thing I want to do is I want to begin the imperfect part process. I want to take a little bit of this off. Take the corner off, but make it a little kind of round. Just a little bit of roundness, and it does not have to be overly perfect. All right, and after I round this a piece, so then we get this here. Now, here's what I want to do. Now we have maybe a little bit of round, just a slight roundness. Because what we want to do is we want to bring, depends on how much time you want to thin this. Because this is supposed to be like cardboard or something, and I don't want to get into that. So we're going to start with the deep, straight in, deep, 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 deep. And start the removing the corner process. Now you could do this several swipes. What I mean by swipes is like taking little chunks out and more little chunks out, and it does kind of behoove me. I don't know if it does you too. As you put in your pauses, that's good enough, and I just don't want to pop out. And you just don't want to pop out. And that's not enough. I want a little more. And we want to go a little deeper. It depends on how deep you want to go. Right now, I'll just at least get it started so you know what I'm talking about, kind of a thing. Same with this side. Now I want to make this kind of almost square. I think we've lost this. I lost the squareness to it. So at least it indicates that it is square. At least we're aiming for it to be square. Same thing, come in. Where am I? Right there. Deep, 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 deep. We are at the point of undercutting, because this is what's called undercutting, and this is what you leave near the end. And we are relatively near the end, but we need to get in there in order to put the bricks in the front. That's the reason why we're doing this undercut. And again, this is a board which is, this sign is a board which is, I want to say, relatively imperfect, because it's like a kid was handling it and now it's outside, and how the heck did he get on the roof to do that? But well, that's what Thomas Nast thought, you know, I don't know. And it's been in the wind and snow and whatever. So it does not have to be a perfectly square. I want to square it a little bit, like it was once square, and then something happened to it. Now this is going to be difficult because this is end grain here, and I am not going to go too deep. I don't know how deep did I? Still went a little deep, some deepness there. So let's clean this part. Come along here. Get in there. Coming the out. So I am going to a little bit of undercut. Remember, this is end grain, so it's going to be a pain in the you know what. So you probably don't want to do it too deep. And it could get to a point where if you do a little bit where this part is higher up and you go in a little bit, still will, if you don't choose to go too deep and undercut all of these, at least it still gives the impression that it's a thin piece of board that is sticking out into the wind. Instead of having it flat, I don't want to have it flat. I want it to be three-dimensional. I want it to come out. Maybe the wind has taken it. Or I just don't. I want it more three-dimensional. That indeed this sign has been put there. Same with this end here. Same with the stick that's holding it. See, I like that three-dimensionality where it comes out. Like you get a second piece. You could do stuff like this is make it a second piece also. If you want to. I mean, there's always that something about when you do something in one piece. People, I don't like that more. It's all done in one piece. But still, I still believe in the adding. And the reason why it's kind of seems like it's kind of rounded is that, of course, it's the router bit. Now, like I said, I want to get into the bricks, and what I want to do is start in. I'm going to start with this part here. I'll take my knife and we might get visited by my cat here, who's starting to sniff around a little bit. Like I said, I'll clean this up a little more. See, it's kind of difficult to do a one-day class or video in like 2 hours. I mean, to be too I don't know what's the word, hacky at it. Now this is about a 1/2 inch preach, starting from the top, and whatever's left over is going to be what I should have done. I should have painted that the same colors as concrete, but that's what you want. Now I want to make sure that we're kind of on track here. Yes, we are. So, like I said, if I go this way, but if I go this way, I can ram it. And like I said, 1/2 inch. Whoops, get up here more. 1/2 inch, there's a hat. Oops, let's go like this, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, and whatever's left over. Now if I do the same thing here, except that's going to be a bit higher. So this is going to be a little difficult because I do want to have this straight across, so I'll start at the bottom here and basically eyeball it. I mean, you want it, I mean, this is not too terribly imperfect. I mean, when this is almost perfect, that's if you got the bricks looking kind of funny. Now the thing is by dimensions, or what do you want to call it, reality, I think the bricks are going to be a lot smaller, but I don't know if you want to do that to put more detail in it by having smaller bricks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there should be 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Before I continue, and makes smaller bricks more realistic if you want. But I mean, I'll go for the realism as far as the bricks themselves. Now it seems that it's going to get a little too high up on that end. So what would happen if I did this? Oh, that is a little off. That one did get a little off. Sorry about that. That's a little bit, that's why. And again, I don't have the eraser, but oh, that came out pretty decent. Now they do look a little, this might be a little thinner than the others, but I'm not too concerned. Now we're going to go on the other side here. And you're going to do the same thing when you do this side. And just to bring it down a little bit. Now again, I'm just going to do one side. Now here, I kind of made it easier as far as the separation. That's going to be in the center. This next one down, follow it, follow it. Where these are going to go here, about half here. Whoops, that could be half there. Halfway between here and here, halfway between here and here. And that's what we're going to do. Now, the thing is, now even though you think, well, they look a little wider, but when you start separating these, then it'll start shrinking. Again, by true, what's the word, not dimension, scope. It's a common name, and my brain is kind of gone right now. But anyways, if you want to put smaller, maybe half as much, you can do that too, as much. I just did not want this to be get too detaily. I just wanted, when you look at it, I mean, I don't know, I think it looks okay. You know, okay for that. I'm going to put my cuticle saving chisel glove on. And this is just his first cut. It's just, all we're doing is kind of like what we did with the creases. is that we are kind of putting that in there to, it's kind of hard for me to be, maybe been carving for so long. What is that word? Finalizing, not finalizing, permanent, making it permanent. Kind of like a whether you like it or not kind of a thing. Yes, I have been carving too long where words, just simple words, just do not come. But you don't care if I yap or not, let's just keep this going here. I want to put an extra oomph on the corners. Now same here. And here is good. Now we take our knife. So let's get that out of there. Take our knife. As much detail as you want to put in, but I want to do some nice separation. Try to make it as much as we can like those bricks have been laid. This is not one sheet. It is all these bricks one on top of the other. And I'm coming in at about a 10-degree angle from the center. And I'm keep my knife and the angle the same by just simply turning this around this way. Keep that 10 degrees, so it's like about 20 degrees. And here now you're making a nice sharper. That's not a V cut there. And then when you have the knife, if you accidentally go one way or the other, well, that's a little bit of imperfectness is fine here. Because we are going to, once we get this all nice and neat, we're going to really take the chain to it and whack onto it. And because these are bricks that have been out. They've been out for decades. Maybe even a century. Flip it around, 10 degrees this way. Okay, there we go. Now there's that. What else did I do? Well, let's start getting in here. See these corners? That's too sharp. That isn't real. Let's do a bunch of these. Some can be just a little chip, some can be a big chip. Can be wide, a little sharp. Come back this way. Where am I? Where am I? Right here. I lost it. Oh, okay, we're gonna go up. See, that one might have been, you might think it'd be a little too much, but that's fine, a little bit. On this one, okay, now there's the corners. Because the brick is not very squared. I'm gonna go a little bit here, and of course I'm going to have to clean that. Might have to come back with that again. See, I didn't clean underneath. That's a little more detail. Oh, and one more thing that I neglected to say, especially when we get into details, that you'd like to have is a little horsehair kind of a brush. Or I could, but that would be a little distracting. I should have brought that out when I did this. Sorry about that. Okay. Now next, I'm going to take my flat knife and I'm going to really imperfect this. Maybe a little bit here. And with that, I forgot the corners. We'll get back to the corners. And you're just starting with this knife. Just put a little bit of imperfection. Just a little bit. Oops, they got into here, which is fine. Okay, so that's like angle one. Like I said, I don't have the other side, but if I did, make sure you get that nice nice imperfect corner. But we need to do here. That might have been a little too narrow. I might need a little more deeper. Kind of picking at it, or really attacking it, teasing it, whatever. Okay, we're going to go deeper. Let's just take some of that out. Where's that flat? Now, when you do this, you're going to do a little bit of turn to it. Turn, or is it a little straight? Little bit of twisty. Now you're way getting in there. And you can see why I want to only do one side and then just rewind and I want to get in here and I'll get some of these off by a little bit. I don't want it too sharp. This is a little bit like if you're going to do rocks, except this is more straight. And when you do rocks, when you take that knife and you're going to cut deeper, you can go deeper down for different size rocks. All right, we'll do one more thing. Let's clean this up a little bit. Now comes the fun part. Now you're going to take your V-tool. Like I was talking about using the end. And oh boy, now you're dinging it up a bit. Yeah, he's been out there for decades. When I was a kid, I had a neighbor kid that's like about 10 houses down, and we thought, well, we got the walkie-talkies, and in our days, walkie-talkies did not travel very far. I thought, well, hey, why don't we put an antenna on the chimney? And what I did is I took one of the chicken fence or chicken wire fence and wrapped it around. Well, did you know that that if you don't ground it and a storm comes with lightning, oh man, was my dad mad. What it did was it hit it. It made a lot of noise, but what it did, it didn't blow up. It just somehow gave it a shake, in which it's just like all the concrete was gone, and it's just always like the one brick on top of the other you can just lift right off. You know, the worst part of it is our experiment didn't work. And I just forgot about it until about 8 or 9 storms later. But anyways, now you can ding it up as much as you want, but you could see the three-dimensionality of the dinging part, and it depends on how much you want to. It depends on how much you want to clean, because it could be, you know, stones or something sticking out, and when you get to painting, a lot of this will kind of, I don't say drop off, or especially if you clean, a lot of that will drop off. I clean with a Brillo pad, one of those green Brillo pad, no, green, what do you call it, scratchy pad, plastic scratchy with the sponge on the other end, and use some Dawn on there, and I do it quick, clean quick, get some Dawn on there, rinse it quick, and then I do take a paper towel and give it a quick dry. Okay, so that's basically it. I forgot to kind of ding this up a bit too. He needs to be dinged. But that's as far as I want to go. Like I said, I just don't want to go all the way around and do all of these. Now I'm going to take a lunch break, because Snoopy has his bowl in his mouth, and Lucy is saying, lunch break, lunch break. And we will come back and do other little odds and ends. Come back, I'll get to the eyeballs, and then we'll get to just kind of getting into the beard a little bit, or a lot of it, and then just other little details like make sure we get a thumb in there. Let's put that in, and then we're gonna, yeah, that'll be detailing then when I come back. And so, lunch break, lunch break. So moving right along, I took and I did all the sides of the chimney, and I did some cleaning up, picking here and there, but I want to finish this off by getting to the beard, the eyes, and any other little odds and ends that I can see. Let me get in here. We got a little extra there. Here I got, here, let's start with this area here. Where's my, there it is, V tool. And I'm going to go towards the hand, because that's where it's crinkly. Now, what you could do is, one of the things that help people be more realistic, or help them understand how things work, is, you know, grab a hold of cloth and see how that looks, or look on the internet and some pictures of somebody holding on to something, or Santa holding on to the bag. I could do that, but I prefer to just give this kind of a caricature version of how the cloth crinkles, and that's it. Also with the bag, here's a big one right here. I'm going to take the knife and fix that. It gives us an extra. And then you could take your knife, just like you did with the bricks, kind of like about 10 or 20 degrees one way. There's a little bit of cleaning up needed here. He doesn't want to come out nicely. In there. And you might want to do some down here. You want to separate a little bit. Just a little bit of separation to show that's not a closed bag. Get some separation between the arm tuff and the bag. Like I said, I want to open that. A little bit. A little bit of cleaning here. Next, I want to take my V tool, where are you? And put the thumb in. A semblance of a thumb. Same with down here. No, he would, yeah, hand down, thumb is on the inside. Chips again. Just a little bit of the mark right there. Bring this around. Same with here. So anyways, while I was lunching, I heard kind of a bang from the table down to the floor. Something, I thought it was the cat who thought took the pencil, but it took this brush, and she rolled it and rolled it. And it took me a while to find it. Now I put a little bit of wrinkle right here. I don't have any there, and that's it. Okay, now, beard and eyes. I like to get to the beard first. You come at an angle like this, or you can draw it in. Now you gotta come around this way. Turn around. Take that out of there. I've talked about the beard many times. You could just leave it as is, or you can take a knife and put a bunch of dents in it. That's what I kind of do with the tufts. Take a V-tool and make some scratchings on it, or knife. Now you can also do realistic, and this is not close to realistic, but it's more of showing you his hair's not evenly combed, especially he's been out all night, and especially in the sleigh. I'm sure that wind got to his hair and took his hair around. Get out. There's a chip. 1, 2. There you go. Now the next thing I want to do is just put a little this in there, sort of a chip, and go this way. This way. Then I might do a bunch in a row. This is going to be difficult coming back. Get in there. Come back. Make a nice triangle. This. Making sure I'm still in. Come on. Okay, next, I want to put some dents in it with my knife. Scooping one way. Oops. Get out of there. I'll get to that via the chisel on that side. Oops. Got into that a little bit too much there. And again, hair is also imperfect, so if there's any whoopsie-daisies, there's a couple times I did take a little bit more off than I ought to. And I'm not going for perfection or total realism, but I think if you had one of these that was off or accidentally removed or dented or whatever, it would be more realistic. All right, now, see, I want to take the knife first because it is less mechanical than the chisel, which what we're going to do is instead of straight up, we're going to do a little bit of this curving. Sometimes I have to clean out what I just get pretty deep there. Just twist it as you go. Now here, I'm going to give you an example. Let's just say you get kind of carried away and you put this in parallel, which is not too realistic. And you just take your chisel and come across. And then that kind of takes the perfection off of it. Now let's get in here. Now I don't think I can get in there very well with this chisel. So I am going to have to, let's see if I can use, well, I'm going to have to use a tinier chisel. Where are you? Not that one. Even that's going to be a little difficult. But you probably can get a knife in there. Let's even get at least one cut with a tight. Oh yeah, I guess I can. I thought I couldn't. And let us not forget the mustache. Here. And then come down here. Oops. Got into the bag. Now I'm going to leave that. I mean, we can get a little bit under here. I'll probably do a little bit more cutting. Or not cutting, but trimming, and or not trimming, but cleaning out. Now you see, I would get undercut with all my other Santas. It's just that this one is maybe too small to really get too much into undercutting. You could do one or two. All right, here comes the fun. The eyeballs, let me take this knife. I really want to get that sharp as I can. All right, let's get in here. I want to do some zooming. Like I said, if I can stay in there. All right, there. To zoom. First, I am going to put the line back in here. Now, because this comes down like this comes across. And I'm going to make a little line right at the bridge of the nose. And the distance between there and there to here. And here to here, here to here. Now the noose, here's the two different eyes. I've been doing different eyes as of late. Here is a matter of I have something else. I've been doing something like this. And it kind of comes, here's the nose. Up and down. I mean, that's what that is. The more recent, let me cut that off because I'll forget. More happier version I've been doing, where are you? Is it goes, boy, I think I might need my scope headset. Little arch here. Little arch here. But I'm going to go farther down and then go up like it's like a quarter of a moon. Goes up because the cheeks. Now let me see if I can do this, if I can. Oh, where's my detailing knife? Oh, I didn't bring over my detailing knife. And I'm going to have to use this knife. This has got a good tip. Where is my, no, I did not bring over my detailing knife. Anyways. Straight down. Where are you? I think I got too much shadow. We want this to go forward. Oops, careful. And come over here. Is that going to help some? Okay. Straight down. Straight down and around. Careful you don't slip. And then this thing here is almost like a shallow mountain instead of a valley. Come over here. Up and around. Oops, that's going to be straight down. And around. Now, I'm going to give a little extra oomph here. In here. A little extra oomph here. Here. I'm going to take a chip out. And a chip out. Turn this around, a chip, and you're starting to round that ball. See, it's starting to round. Yeah, these eyes are really small. I'd almost tell you to just paint them in, but, and of course I got other Santas that I show you how to do the eyes, but this is really, this is like probably the tiniest I'll ever do. Now let's see how that looks. How far can we go? Okay, I think, again, I'm going to have to get my visor on to make sure they're perfect. Okay, where's my brush? This one needs a little more straightening out. This is a little booger right there. Okay, I'm going to take my V tool. Now this one here, this V tool might be too big. I think it might be all right. Then I come around and put that in there. Come around this way. She's not budging. I think I'm going to take whack a piece out of there if I... Now, now what I'm going to do, let's see if the next step will help, is you're going to come down 10 degrees, as I always do. Come back around, 10 degrees back. Same here. 10 degrees this way, 10 degrees this way. That is just being where is it? That is just not cooperating. I don't know if it's because I can't see very well without my headset. I think I'm going to have to get my headset to finish this. All right, how does that look? I mean, the left, his right, our left. Now that looks fine, his left eye, but this, I think I need to dig a little deeper here in the well. There we go. There we go. That's better. Now, I want to take the forehead back a little bit. Now what I've done with my other videos, I've been using a small number 9 for this next trick. But I've been using my knife lately. I don't know if it's because I was getting lazy or what. Is I'm going to cut right here at about a 30-degree angle this way. And so if I can hold on to that without that slipping out of my hand. Get in there. I don't think I can get it deep enough with this little carving. And you know, maybe I should have used my chisel, because that would or should pop out. I think it's because it's so tiny. Well, let's get my chisel in there. So the heck with it. So much for thinking about I'm doing it the quick way. I think the smaller this is, now clean that out a bit, because now we got some nice separation. I'm gonna bring the eyebrow back, but bringing the forehead back. Get a little bit of this out of here. I don't want him to look too angry. So you cut a little bit up right here. Cut a little bit here. Now I leave a little extra more on the forehead bone, or the eyebrow bone, because next we take our small chisel, come in here and cut back. Actually, I kind of have it up a little too high instead of it on the side. Okay, with, like I said, maybe a little bit of cleaning up and a little bit of this and that, I think I'm just going to do an end here. There's a lot of picking. It's very interesting. I mean, the same rough out, same guy carved both, and yet both of them look so totally different. Concept is the same, but so different. And my idea, you know, every time I try to use, in the past I would use somebody else's rough out, and of course you try to make it and mimic it as best you can. It gets to a point that as long as, you know, once the you're done and nobody's looking at the go by, that as long as yours, excuse me again, as long as yours looks good as is, you know, nobody's going to complain, you know. But there you have it. I'm ending it here. Like I said, I will be, before I paint, I'll just put some white on here, off-white, pardon me. And I'm going to do some picking and then cleaning. And there you are. We're done. And don't forget to, I was about to tell you to come to my YouTube site. Well, that's where you are right now, so. But the thing is that if you haven't, you know, got my free patterns that I have, that's down below in the definitions or the description area, please do so, because what I do is I tell you the latest and what's on sale, or what's the newest and latest carving, and so on and so forth. And other than that, we are done. Ready for painting.